So dear students, welcome to the next session of JEE Main, NEET and JEE Advanced, and we are in Newton's law. Okay, the basic concepts on Newton's law, how the problems have to be solved, we have discussed. So many things we have discussed, so many concepts we have discussed, so that we are now in a position to solve some problems, some important problems that will help you to understand the actual process or the concepts that you have learned from the previous videos. You can apply the concepts in that problems. So I have chosen such kinds of problems that will help you to build your fundamental on the topics that you have learned immediately, as well as the problems are also helpful for your various competitive exam like JEE Main, NEET and JEE Advanced. Okay, so let me do the first question. Okay, so this is our first questions, and the corresponding free body diagram I have already done in the video based on free body diagram. Okay, and so I think the problems will be very simple to you if you have seen the previous videos, and if you don't see the videos on these topics of Newton's laws, then I will suggest you to go through my playlist and search there Newton's law for JEE Main and Advanced, and you can see the playlist and you should choose the playlist for these topics, and you can see the videos and you will understand all the topics. Okay, if you see the videos serially, okay, lecture 1, lecture 2, lecture 3, lecture 4 serially if you have seen, then you will definitely understand each and every topic. And if you do not understand anything, you can ask me through comment. Okay, so now let me solve this question. Here the question is, find the normal reaction between 5 kg and 10 kg block and between 1 kg block and surface. So here is the system. Here one is this is surface. Actually this is not the rest surface, this is moving surface, and the surface is moving downwards with acceleration a equal to 2 मीटर पर सेकंड स्क्वायर. और ये जो 5 kg ब्लॉक है ये 10 kg ब्लॉक का ऊपर रखा हुआ है 5 kg ब्लॉक. सो व्हाट वी हैव टू फाइंड आउट, वी हैव टू फाइंड आउट द रिएक्शन फोर्स बिटवीन 5 kg एंड 10 kg. 10 और 5 kg के बीच जो नॉर्मल रिएक्शन है वो हमको फाइंड आउट करना है. और एक नॉर्मल रिएक्शन जो हम लोग फाइंड आउट करना है वह 10 kg और सरफेस के बीच में जो रिएक्शन फोर्स, जो नॉर्मल रिएक्शन. सो हियर टू नॉर्मल रिएक्शंस आर appears. One is between 5 kg and 10 kg block, another is between 10 kg block and surface. And as this is a reaction force, you know, if this 10 kg block will give a force on the surface, then the surface will also give a force. Let me take that the 10 kg block give the surface a force N, so the surface will react with the same force N. Similarly, if we take here that the 5 kg block give a force on 10 kg block N1, तो 10 kg block क्या करेगा, ये भी 5 kg ब्लॉक का सेम फोर्स देगा विद द सेम अमाउंट दैट इज N1. सो यहां पर जो रिएक्शन फोर्स है N1 और यहां पर जो 10 kg ब्लॉक और सरफेस के बीच में जो नॉर्मल रिएक्शन है N, ये दोनों को फाइंड आउट करना है अकॉर्डिंग टू द क्वेश्चन. फाइंड द नॉर्मल रिएक्शन बिटवीन 5 kg एंड 10 kg ब्लॉक एंड बिटवीन 10 kg ब्लॉक एंड सरफेस. सरफेस और 10 kg ब्लॉक के बीच जो नॉर्मल रिएक्शन है और 5 kg एंड 10 kg ब्लॉक का बीच में जो नॉर्मल रिएक्शन है दोनों ही फाइंड आउट करना है. सो क्या करोगे, फर्स्ट यू हैव टू ड्रॉ द फ्री बॉडी डायग्राम. आई हैव सेड अर्लियर व्हाट आर द स्टेप्स टू सॉल्व प्रॉब्लम्स. फर्स्ट स्टेप क्या था, सिस्टम को ऑब्जर्व करना पड़ेगा. सिस्टम को फर्स्ट देखना पड़ेगा क्या क्या फोर्स वहां पर एक्ट कर रहा है और किस किस फोर्स हम लोगों को निकालना होगा. सो ये है हमारा फर्स्ट स्टेप. सो फर्स्ट स्टेप जो है वो मैंने बता दिया है, ऑलरेडी मैंने बता दिया कि क्या क्या फोर्स यहां पर है और क्या क्या करना है हमको. दैट इज ऑब्जर्व द सिस्टम. एंड द नेक्स्ट स्टेप क्या है, व्हाट इज द नेक्स्ट स्टेप, ड्रॉ द फ्री बॉडी डायग्राम ऑफ ईच एंड एवरी ऑब्जेक्ट विद इन द सिस्टम. सो वी हैव टू फ्री बॉडी डायग्राम ऑफ, हियर यू कैन सी हियर three ऑब्जेक्ट आर अवेलेबल. वन इज सरफेस, अनदर इज 10 kg ब्लॉक एंड अनदर इज 5 kg ब्लॉक. सो ये तीनों का जो फ्री बॉडी डायग्राम है वो फर्स्ट हम लोग का ड्रॉ करना पड़ेगा. ओके, सो लेट मी सी. फर्स्ट हम 10 kg ब्लॉक का फ्री बॉडी डायग्राम ड्रॉ करना है. ओके, सो यू कैन राइट लाइक दिस दैट FBD of 10 kg block. Okay, FBD of 10 kg block. So you can write it like this, 10 kg with this circle. And what will be the force acting on 10 kg block? So one force जो है ग्रेविटेशनल फोर्स है जो 10 kg ब्लॉक के ऊपर काम कर रहा है, कि 10 kg ब्लॉक को अपने तरफ खींच रहा है अर्थ सरफेस. सो इसका जो ग्रेविटेशनल फोर्स होगा 10G, दैट इज mg. एंड अनदर फोर्स जो 10 kg ब्लॉक के ऊपर जो जो फोर्स दे रहा है सरफेस वो है n. 10 kg block will give a force n to the surface, so surface will react with the same force n. So to the 10 kg block a normal reaction n is acting outwards or upward direction. Similarly 5 kg block will give a force n1 to the 10 kg block, but it is in the downward direction. So another force is here, that is n1, that is in the downward direction, that is due to the 5 kg block. So this 10 kg block will experience three force: two reaction force, normal reaction force, and another is gravitational force due to earth, that is 10 g. और दोनों फोर्स क्या है, एक है जो ग्राउंड इस 10 kg ब्लॉक को दे रहा है और एक जो 5 kg ब्लॉक जो 10 kg ब्लॉक को दे रहा है. 5 kg ब्लॉक जो 10 kg ब्लॉक को दे रहा है वो डाउनवर्ड से और ग्राउंड जो दे रहा है वो अपवर्ड से. सो ये है n, n1 एंड 10g. दिस इज द कंप्लीट फ्री वेट डायग्राम ऑफ 10 kg ब्लॉक. नाउ व्हाट विल बी द फ्री वेट डायग्राम ऑफ 5 kg ब्लॉक? So if you see the free body diagram of 5 kg block, what are the forces acting? One force is obvious, that is the gravitational force, that is 5g mg, and another force that the 10 kg block is giving to the 5 kg block in upward direction, that is n1. I have said earlier, मैंने पहले ही बता दिया था कि जो फ्री बॉडी डायग्राम हम लोग का ड्रा करना है, यहाँ पर सिर्फ और सिर्फ that force will appear which the object feels. So here the object feels only two force, n1 and 5g, but this object will also give a force n1, but that will feel by this object 10 kg. So the n1 will be drawn on 10 kg block. So the forces which the object feels, that force को हम लोगों ने ट्रीट किया है यहाँ पर इन फ्री बॉडी डायग्राम. ओके, so the 5 kg block will experience only two force, and the ground, if you talk about the ground, then the ground will experience only one force, that is the force given by the 10 kg block to the ground, that is the normal reaction n. लेकिन ये जो फ्री बॉडी डायग्राम है ये हम लोगों का जरूरत नहीं है, क्योंकि हम लोगों को निकालना है सिर्फ 5 kg और 10 kg ब्लॉक के लिए. दिस you can find this n from here and n1 from here, that we have to find out. One is the normal reaction between 10 kg block and the ground, that is n, that is from here, and another is from 5 kg block, that is from here. So now what we have to see, we have to see the direction of motion. Here the direction of motion is downward direction, and all the motions will be in same direction. All the motion will be in same direction because they are connected, they are not separate. ये जो तीनों के तीन जो ऑब्जेक्ट है वो एक साथ चल रहा है, सो उसका जो एक्सीलरेशन होगा, ईच एंड एवरी ऑब्जेक्ट का जो एक्सीलरेशन होगा वो सेम होगा. So now what will be the second step? We know we have to resolve the forces into components. One is along x direction and the other along y direction. But here what is the thing, you can see the forces are already along the y axis, so we don't need to do with this step anything, because the forces are already in vertically, that is along y axis. If the force will be in another direction, then we have to resolve the force into two components, but here we don't need to do this step, so we can skip this. And what will be the fourth step? We have to use Newton's law, that is summation fx is equal to max and summation fy is equal to may. And again we don't need the equation summation fx is equal to mx, because there is no forces with the free body diagram. You can see in the free body diagram कोई फोर्स यहाँ पर x एक्सिस बराबर कोई फोर्स नहीं है. सो हम लोग का जो ये इक्वेशन है समेशन fx is equal to max, वो जरूरत ही नहीं है. सो हम लोग सिर्फ समेशन fy is equal to my इक्वेशन we will use. Okay, so what will be the equation for this object? If you take that summation fx is equal to max, okay, let me write over here. For this object, if you use this summation fx, sorry, summation fy is equal to my. So what will be the summation fy? Summation fy, this 10g, this n1 and this n, and always you have to take the positive direction along the acceleration. ये एक्सीलरेशन जिस डायरेक्शन पे एक्सीलरेशन होगा, दिस डायरेक्शन को हम लोग पॉजिटिव डायरेक्शन ट्रीट करूंगा, क्योंकि ये ज़्यादा इजी होगा. ओके, यू कैन चूज द पॉजिटिव डायरेक्शन कन्वेंशनली, दिस डायरेक्शन you can do by choosing this convention also, but that will sometimes make you so confused. So you can always make the positive direction along the acceleration. So the forces which are along the acceleration will take this forces as positive, and which are opposite to the acceleration will take this force as negative, because in the summation the forces will appear. This is the algebraic sum, so we should add them algebraically with sign convention. Okay, so we will do that summation fy is nothing but n1 plus 10g, N1 plus 10G is equal to Ma. Okay, this is our equation 1, and here we will get 5G minus N. Here also you can see write like this, that summation Fy is equal to Ma, and here M is 10 kg, so you can write over here 10. Okay, and here summation Fy is nothing but 5G minus N1. So 5G minus N1 is equal to, इसका मास कितना है 5 kg, so it will be 5A. Okay, and we have two equations and two unknown, that is N1 and N. N1 and sorry, there will N must, yes, this N1 plus 10G minus N, that should be minus N. Okay, sorry, there should be minus N, because upward direction there is a force N, so it will be minus N is equal to 10A. So this is our equation 1, and this is our equation 2, that is 5G minus N1 is equal to 5A. And we have two unknowns, N1, N, and here is also N1. So we have two unknown, two equations, so we can easily solve. We don't need to solve this diagram. Okay, so we can solve these two equations and we will get the result, because A is given here. A is given here. Okay, so please put in this equation. From this equation we can find out the value of N1. So N1 will be nothing but 5G minus 5A. Okay, and put this N1 here, you will get N. So from equation 1 you can see that this is 5G minus 5A plus 10G minus N is equal to 10. So we will get 15G minus N is equal to 10 plus 5, 15A. So now put the value of A and G. You can take G as 10 meter per second square. Okay, this is the calculation will be easy. So it will be G. So 15 into G, that means 150 minus N is equal to 15 into 2. Okay, 15 into 2, that means 30. So N will be 150 minus 30, that is 120 Newton. So N will be 120 Newton. So what will be N1? So N1 you can find by putting from this equation. Okay, or you can find N1 directly from here, because you know G and A. Okay, so we can find N1 directly from here. So N1 is equal to 5 into 10 minus 5 into 2. So it will be 50 minus 10, so that will be 40. Okay, so N1 will be 40 Newton and N will be 120 Newton. So this is how we can solve the problems. Let me check the answer. Okay, let me check the answer. Nice, 120 Newton, another is 40 Newton. Okay, so this is how we can solve the problems. So आपको समझ आ जाएगा, और थोड़ा सा प्रॉब्लम्स करने के बाद how we can solve the problems. Okay, so the steps are always same. I have said earlier, you have to observe the system. This is the first step. Then what we will do? We will have to do the free diagram of each and every object. So पहले हमको क्या करना है, सिचुएशन को समझना है. ये बहुत ही बड़ी बात है. ये आपको सिंपल लैंग्वेज ज़्यादा सिंपल है कि ऑब्जर्व द सिस्टम, बट दिस इज एक्चुअली द important part of this problem solving method. You have to observe the system correctly and you have to understand what are the forces acting on the system. Once you can find out the forces acting on the system, you can do the problem very easily. Believe me, just observe the system is the very important step for you. Then आपको क्या करना होगा, आपको each and individual object को अलग करना होगा and the forces which are acting on the system you have to draw in the free diagram. Then if the forces are not along the x and y direction, then you have to resolve these forces along x and y direction to apply this formula in component form. But we are very fortunate here that we don't need to do this because the forces are already along the y axis. Similarly, there can be some kind of situation that you have the forces along x axis, along y axis. But if you don't have like this kind of situation, you have to convert by using the vector resolution method. We will see in very next problems. Okay, so this is how we can solve the problems, and we will solve the next problem and the next. Okay. So now let me solve the next question. Okay. Here we have to find the acceleration of the system and the reaction force between 4 kg and 2 kg block. So this is the system. The system is given to you. This 4 kg and 2 kg block are connected like this. The surface is frictionless. Okay. In Newton's law, we have always said assume that the all the surfaces are frictionless. सो ये जो सरफेस है वो स्मूथ सरफेस है. ओके, and we will discuss about this friction in the chapter friction. Okay, frictional force, that is separate chapter, we will discuss very next. Okay, so पहले हमको क्या करना होगा, सिस्टम को ऑब्जर्व करना है होगा. दिस विल बी द फर्स्ट स्टेप. आई सेड अर्लियर. सो सिस्टम यहाँ पर क्या है, दोनों ऑब्जेक्ट का सिस्टम है, एक 4 kg ब्लॉक और एक है 2 kg ब्लॉक. और ये जो 20 न्यूटन फोर्स है ये हॉरिजॉन्टली अलोंग द एक्स डायरेक्शन. इफ वी टेक दिस एज एक्स डायरेक्शन, देन अलोंग द एक्स डायरेक्शन we have to always choose a coordinate axis. Okay, and conventionally we like to choose this kind of coordinate system, you know. So if 20 newton force here is acting along the x direction, okay, horizontally, so we have to find out the acceleration of the system. You can find the acceleration in very simple way, that f is equal to ma, but I don't like to do this. Okay, I will not do this. I will tell you why, and I will do it later. Okay, in very last. पहले हम लोग पहले कॉन्सेप्ट को लर्न करना होगा. ओके, कॉन्सेप्ट को हम लर्न करना होगा, एंड देन वी विल सी हाउ वी कैन सॉल्व द प्रॉब्लम सो इजीली. सो आई डोंट वांट टू कंसंट्रेट ऑन दैट पर्पस, दैट हाउ यू कैन सॉल्व द प्रॉब्लम वेरी इजीली एंड हाउ यू कैन सॉल्व सम प्रॉब्लम्स विद शॉर्टकट ट्रिक. आई विल नॉट यूज दिस. पहले हम लोग का कॉन्सेप्ट को समझना होगा. अगर एक बार आपको कॉन्सेप्ट समझ में आ जाएगा तो आप प्रॉब्लम्स इजीली कर पाओगे. ओके, बिलीव मी, यू कैन डू इट वेरी इजीली. सो you have to follow the step first. Okay, so what are the steps? I've said earlier, first step is you have to observe the system. So observe हमने कर लिया है. यहाँ पर 20 न्यूटन फोर्स एक्ट कर रहा है 4 kg ब्लॉक के ऊपर, और 2 kg ब्लॉक इज कनेक्टेड टू द 4 kg ब्लॉक. So if 4 kg block is moving, so 2 kg block will must be moved. And the second one is there is force, that is one is N and mg. Here also normal reaction in mg, but that force will not be useful for here, because we have to find the normal reaction between 4 kg and 2 kg block. So between 4 kg and 2 kg block means here 4 kg block will give a force to 2 kg block, and 2 kg block give the force with same force, react with the same force, that is R in the opposite direction. This is action Newton's third law. So what are the forces acting? Here action reaction force will appear, and of course this force are always there, will be always there. That one is 4g and another is n1. You can say here also one is 2 kg and another is 2g and another is n2, you can say. So let me draw the free body diagram. We have understand the forces, what are the forces acting on the system. So now the next step is we have to draw the free body diagram. So FBD of 4 kg block. Okay, so what are the forces acting on the 4 kg block? One is 4g downwards, and another is reaction force n1, that is upward. This is obvious. And another force also be there on the ground, but we are not interested about the free body diagram of ground. So 4 kg and 2 kg ब्लॉक को ड्रॉ करना होगा. ओके, सो 4 kg के ऊपर वर्टिकल डायरेक्शन पे ये n1 एंड 4g एक्ट कर रहा है, और जो हॉरिजॉन्टल डायरेक्शन पे है वो है 20 न्यूटन. And another force that is also horizontal direction, but in opposite direction due to the reaction force. 4 kg block will give the force 2 kg. So 2 kg block react with the same force, that is R, but in the opposite direction, and that force will act on 4 kg block. So we have to draw the reaction force on 4 kg block, because the forces that are felt by the block, we have to draw in the free body diagram only that forces. वो किसी के पास वो जो फोर्स दे रहा है, कोई ऑब्जेक्ट जो फोर्स दे रहा है, उस फोर्स के लिए हम लोगों का कोई टेंशन नहीं है. वो दे रहा है, जितना भी दे रहा है, लेकिन वो जो फोर्स फील कर रहा है, फॉर दैट फोर्सेस ओनली द मोशन विल occur. So we have to concentrate on that forces, that the forces feels. The object feels the forces. Here the object feels this 20 Newton, this R, this N1 and this 4g. But this 2 kg block, if you talk about the FBD of 2 kg block, then you can see this 2 kg block will feel the forces 2g downward direction and n2 upward direction, and the only force that is R along the horizontal direction. Okay, so along the horizontal direction this is R, and along the horizontal direction R and 20 Newton. And we have to find out this R. We have to find out acceleration. So acceleration is along this direction, because the force is this direction, so the system will be accelerated with the direction of force, along the direction of force. And now if we take the force equation along x-axis, we will get summation fx is equal to ma. Here also summation fx is equal to ma. and here summation fx is 20 minus r, because we have to take the positive direction along the direction of acceleration. So acceleration in the positive direction, so we will get 20 minus r is equal to 4a, and here we will get only one positive appeared over here, so we will get r is equal to 2a. Okay, so this r is equal to 2a, you can put over here, so we will get 20 minus 2a is equal to 4a. That means what? 20 is equal to 6a. So a is equal to 20 by 6, that is 10 by 3 meter per second square. And if you put this value over here, so you will get r is equal to 2 into 10 by 3, that is 20 by 3 Newton. So we have two equations, we have two unknown, we can solve easily. Okay, so this is how we can solve the problems. But if you want to reduce your calculation, then you can calculate the acceleration here directly, that is a is equal to f by m, and f is 20 Newton and total mass is 4 plus 2, that is 6, so 20 by 6, that is 10 by 3, that is the answer. And then you have to put over here, so you don't need this thing. So this free body diagram you don't need to find the a and r. You can directly find a from here, that is f by m, that is 20 by 6, that is 10 by 3, and you have to just put a over here, and you need only this diagram, free body diagram of this object. Okay, 2 kg object. So ऐसे प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व करते करते क्या होगा, आपको एक एक्सपीरियंस आ जाएगा, आप सिस्टम को देख कर ही समझ जाएगा कि व्हिच द फ्री बॉडी डायग्राम ऑफ व्हिच ऑब्जेक्ट वी नीड, किस ऑब्जेक्ट का फ्री बॉडी डायग्राम हमको जरूरत है टू सॉल्व दिस प्रॉब्लम्स. यू विल अंडरस्टैंड ऑटोमेटिकली बाय योर एक्सपीरियंस. सो यू हैव टू सॉल्व लॉट ऑफ प्रॉब्लम्स टू रिड्यूस योर कैलकुलेशन. ओके, ये रट्टा मार कर कुछ नहीं होगा. अब जो शॉर्टकट रूल्स है, वो शॉर्टकट रूल्स को आप ज़्यादा मेमोराइज करोगे तो आपको फायदा नहीं होगा. तो प्रॉब्लम्स को आप एक बार समझ जाओगे, अगर एक बार प्रॉब्लम को कॉन्सेप्ट को समझ जाओगे, एंड देन इफ यू practice the problems more number of times, then the calculation will be automatically reduced in your mind, and that shortcut trick will act in your exam. But if you memorize some formula as a shortcut process or as a shortcut rule, that will never helpful in your exam. That you will always forget this kinds of formula in your exam. So you must have to memorize the concepts again and again, and you have to practice a lot of problems such that these kinds of situation you can handle easily, and in your mind these things will come automatically, that which object we need to draw the free body diagram to solve the problems very easily. Okay, so today's session is